Hey everybody, welcome to Kimmel's Irish Pub. Time for another movie review. Tonight's movie, American Woman. Makes you want to sing, American Woman, right? Okay, maybe not now anyway, now you just cover your ears. Sienna Miller, I recognize, and Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad. Can't wait for that to come out on Netflix, that movie. Anyway, it's about a woman raising her grandson after her daughter goes missing. That's all it says on IMDb. However, I must have clicked somewhere else. Yes, there's a longer one, and I saw in a small blue-collar town in Pennsylvania. So that piqued my interest a little bit. So I wanted to check it out. It's 6.5 on IMDb. Don't know too much more about it. It's an hour and 52 minutes long. But I want to check it out and see what's going on, see if there's any yingling in it, or anything else that I might recognize. So let me get started here, give you a better idea of what the synopsis is rather than just a lady raising her grandson. And we'll find out more about it, and I'll stop back in and tell you really what it's about, and tell you what I ultimately think. So stick around, I'll be back. And I won't sing again. No promises.
Hey, Bridge.
Hey everybody, I want to do a quick check-in here. We're watching American Woman. We're at the 49-minute, 19-second mark. And, you know, it's kind of what the synopsis says. Sienna Miller's character is a single mother raising a daughter who's about 17 years old, who's also a single mother, who's raising a baby or a toddler, just kind of born. And, you know, she's out to actually, her relationship, the Miller's mother, Miller, is with a married man. Not that that has any major significance, but you know, she's out dating, trying to find a guy, but she happens to be dating a married guy. Whereas her daughter, you know, is the father of her son. She's kind of, you know, they're not together, but they're going out on a date and whatever. But that's when she goes missing. So of course the mother thinks it might be him. You know what happens there, and that's the whole beginning. And it's no spoiler alert. What actually happens is they just jump 5 years in the future. I mean, there's a little bit more background there for you, but I don't need to summarize it all for you. You get the point. They jump 5 years in the future, so she's still missing. You know, 5 years later, but now she's raising her grandson. You know, and he's like 5 or 6 years old, something like that. But, you know, it kind of jumps forward, whereas she continues to make poor choices in her relationships. You know, being with the wrong guy for the wrong reasons kind of thing. So that's not really working out for her. Obviously still missing her daughter. Her sister and her husband live across the street. So it's all about her family and her mother. I don't know if she lives across the street, but she's there all the time. So they're always kind of interacting. And of course, they're trying to, you know, talk to her about her poor decisions and, you know, who she's dating and is it going anywhere and stuff like that. That sets her off. She gets offended by that, whatever, so on and so forth. So it's really, you know, it's focused on her. The whatever has happened to her daughter has happened, and it's showing more about her and her family and how she's dealing with it, and her relationships kind of thing. And that's where we are. You know. But we got a lot of the movie left, over an hour left. I think right now I'm at the point of like, are we ever going to find out what happens? I hope so. I'm going to be upset if we don't. But Sienna Miller, I think, you know, for me, I didn't really know who she was. You know, like I think about all the actors and actresses. I know who she was coming into this, but there was for some reason in my mind for her, she came onto the scene late. And I don't know if that's true. She might have been in other movies. I never, you know, recognized her or thought about her being, you know, an actress and stuff. And as of recent, I would say recent in the last 3 to 5 years maybe, you know, I've seen her in more things and more prominent roles. And I have to tell you, this one, she's pretty good. I like her in this one. I like her acting. So it's worth it to see her acting in this. You know, like I said before, she never stuck out to me. So I don't know if I maybe didn't enjoy her acting or whatever. She blended in too much. But in this role, and she is the featured role, of course, I think she's doing a fantastic job of being that, you know, the single mother struggling to get by, you know, on maybe on the wrong side of the tracks kind of mother, if you know what I mean, in abusive relationships and trying to cope with everything that's going on. So I think she's doing a great job in this. I mentioned this is in Pennsylvania. I haven't figured out yet. There's no Yingling. I saw Rolling Rock, which suggests to me it's Latrobe, or near Latrobe, which is more western Pennsylvania. But I haven't figured it out completely yet. It's somewhere in Pennsylvania, but they haven't said exactly where. So I'll get back to it. We've got a lot more to go. If anything interesting happens, I'll step back in and update you. If I figure out where in Pennsylvania, or if anything interesting happens, or I'll just see you at the end and give you my final thoughts. So stick around. Hey everybody, we're at the credits of American Woman, and I have to say I really enjoyed it. I thought Serena Miller's acting was great, and we've already talked about that. But I also like the way that they put the film together, and I find out at the end it was produced by Ridley Scott. Gladiator, The Martian, Blade Runner, things like that. You know, I don't normally recognize producers and directors and whatnot, but that name flashed up, and I was like, oh, that makes sense, because this film I thought was well done in the fact that it starts you off with the missing daughter, and you know, we've talked at length about that, but then it really moves into more about Serena Miller's character, Deb. I'm going to just call her Deb from now on, and how she copes and deals with everything that she's going through, her relationships, her poor choices in men, her relationship with her sister, brother-in-law, and her mother, as well as her grandson, who she is now raising. And it does a good job of leaping forward in time to show the evolution of all of these different types of relationships and how she's impacted by them. I think it does like 5 years, and in 5 years, whatever. And at some point, Aaron Paul joins the cast, and you know, as a love interest of Deb, our main character. You know, and you know, again, she's got these relationships going on, and it really turns into that. And there's little breadcrumbs, I would say, of the original thought of this whole thing of what happened to her daughter. You know, just pieces of it, celebrating her birthday. You know, she would have been 22 today and stuff like that. But it's like, you know, it's interesting because it's not a lot. It's like I thought at first the movie has transformed into a different type of movie than what I was expecting. But then, as it continues on, it comes full circle for us, and it kind of ties it together quite nicely. You know, so what I thought was more of a mystery type movie turned into more of a drama with an undertone of mystery. So, you know, I wasn't expecting to like it as much because of that. I wanted the whole mystery thing and let's figure it out and that kind of thing. But I was happy with the way it was done. It kept my interest. I enjoyed it a lot. I thought she did an incredible job acting. And I liked all the characters. I liked her sister. I really liked her brother-in-law. Her brother-in-law, can't think of his name off the top of my head, but he played Curly in the Three Stooges, the new one. So he's a funny guy. Not that he's funny in this one, but, you know, I thought he did good too. I liked them all. Everybody in this one was pretty good. So that made it easier on me and made me enjoy it more. And it kept me interested throughout, even though it was more about emotions and relationships than it was about mystery and intrigue. But like I said, it kept me focused, or kept me interested, and then it did flip back around to put a decent bow on the top of it. So if anything I described to you makes you interested, I would definitely check this out. If you're a fan of her, I think she did a great job in this movie, and I'm glad I watched it. I was not too thrilled going into it. I didn't know how much I'd like it. I was like interested in the Pennsylvania thing. I still don't know. I think maybe they're just outside of Philadelphia. They do mention Harrisburg, but you know, there's some Penn State stuff in there, some Eagle stuff, but they never really. At least I missed it. If anybody else knows from watching the movie, I don't want anybody to read what they say. If it pops up in the movie, love to hear from you. Love to hear where they're located. That always interests me, especially when it's about Pennsylvania. Alright, so yeah, definitely check this one out. I think it's worth the watch. and hopefully you enjoyed it as much as I do. I like finding these like little hidden gems. It's, you know, you don't always have to find those big name movies to enjoy. Some of these are there out there too, and hopefully I drive you to watch it and you enjoy it as well. And if you do, love to hear your comments, what you thought of the movie. I will put a link to On Demand down below, so you could just go ahead after my wonderful review here, and you are so excited to watch it, just go ahead and click it right down there and you can start watching it right away. So, alright, that's it. Thanks for tuning in. Kimmel's Irish Pub.